So in today's video, I'm going to be covering why I believe this is gold 2.0. It's the exact same thing that happened with gold before we had that really big breakout out of gold. I'm also going to talk to you about why the S&P 500 here, right, this is the S&P 500, and then also why I believe the Nasdaq is probably having more downside to come, but the Dow Jones a little bit more downside to come before we see on our way up to 50,000. I'm actually going to be talking to you about the gold market here and what's going on with the gold market. We could be getting ready for another big move to the 3,000 level. Also silver, why we could be getting a potential flush down out of the silver market, and also what's really going on with the actual gold mining sector. And also I'm going to be covering, guys, Bitcoin, about why Bitcoin could be getting ready for a really big move. But I'm also going to teach you a very powerful long-term pattern here. It's a false breakout that follows by a slingshot move. And when you do get this pattern, it is very, 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 very powerful. So you can start to identify this in your own trading today. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into today's video. Got a lot of stuff I want to cover with you today. Man, there's a lot of good stuff happening right now in there. So much is happening right now, traders. If you do need some help with your actual trading, guys, then you can see on the screen there, make sure you grab access to that free training. The links are in the description there, where you can get access to that. And trading is all about, what am I looking for? Every day I'll go to the market, I know exactly the type of pattern I'm looking for, and that's what I do. Okay, so just get access to that training. So let's start off with the good old S&P 500. So the S&P 500, I'm expecting a bit more of a pullback. Initially, I'm expecting probably a bit more of a drop coming out of the S&P. We actually had a little bit of a drop. We're rallying to the upside here right now. So I would expect to see possibly a bit of a pullback towards this trend line here. And then maybe we get ready to have another move to the upside. If I look at my hourly charts from here, we can see that we are potentially starting to roll over here. So again, I wouldn't be too surprised to see the S&P 500 actually start to make its way down towards this trend line down through here. So that's the S&P 500. Let's go to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones right now is holding right now. Again, we may have a little bit more downside to come to this level of 40,000 out of the Dow Jones. But then I do see that we're possibly likely to hold and then rally, because I do have a 50,000 target on the Dow Jones from there. Let's go look at the Nasdaq 100 chart. In the Nasdaq 100, we can see we had this support level through here, connected it all through here as well too. So we have a couple of main levels around that 19,000 level, which I do see we're possibly likely to have a bit more of a drop coming out of the Nasdaq 100, possibly down towards that 19,000 level. I don't believe the drop has has ended. I believe we've got a bit more of a drop to the downside towards this level, and that's also a 50% level through there. But just keep in mind, guys, that especially like even with the Nasdaq, if we take everything off the screen, like the Nasdaq is in a very big strong bull market, right? Very low, higher lows, and higher lows. So we can see that through there, right? Low, higher low, and a higher low through here. So I would expect to see possibly a bit of a short-term pullback, maybe over the next week or so out of the Nasdaq, and then maybe a move to much higher prices from there. If we go look at the good old Russell is the outlier. Okay, Russell is the trade that I got into, and I've been into, and I'm still in right now, because the Russell to me is the outlier, where I actually see the Russell having a lot more upside to come, because the Russell right now is playing catch up. Okay, this is like gold 2.0. Okay, I'm pretty sure I put that in the title, but this is like gold 2.0. What is gold 2.0? If you go back and have a look at gold, okay, we look at gold. What actually happened with that's silver, John? Silver, right? If you have a look at gold, before gold actually had a breakout, it's gold 2.0. What does that mean? Before this big move to the upside, what happened? We did nothing for we had, what's that there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, right? 5 months of not really doing much, and then bam, we broke out, right? So the gold 2.0 for me, and the reason why I've been so focused on the Russell and have been, especially this move to the upside, we got in just as the breakout was happening. That's the most powerful thing about the way that I trade is I have my setup, and then I have my exact entry candle to tell me now the move is now likely to be getting started. So today is the day you should be getting in. So that's the reason why I have my setup, okay? And then bam, okay, now we get in, right? And that's why I love, because I know the exact day I should be entering the markets. There's no like, is today the day? I'm not too quite sure. There is no confusion with me, right? There is absolutely no confusion with me, because again, I have my setup, then I'm watching the thing set up, and then I know exactly the type of candle or bar I'm looking for to say today is that bar. If you do need some help with your trading, guys, then go to getjohnshelp.com. I think it's the first link in the description, and you can actually apply to become part of my coaching group, where I can help you with your trading, identification, trade setups, letting profits run, cutting losses short, the mindset, the emotional parts, all that sort of stuff every single day. So first link in the description there, guys. So this is Gold 2.0 is like that, right? So we had this sideways movement, as I said before. So we had this sideways movement all through here. And then what do we have? And then we had the breakout and a big move up. So this is Gold 2.0. Gold 2.0 is what? Sideways movement, right? So lots of sideways movement from here. And then we had what? And then we had the breakout to the upside. So see what I'm saying? That's rough. This is Gold 2.0. The Gold 2.0 move. And that's why I'm saying, because it's roughly the same. So I see so much more upside to come out of the actual Russell. Now, the big thing about the Russell is this. Check this out. So the big thing I've always noticed about the Russell, this is the weekly chart looking at the Russell. Okay, the real big long-term weekly chart. Notice the Russell has not made it. So after the COVID 2020 low, and we had the very big move to the upside, it made a high up here. This is the IWM, by the way. This is the ETF that I traded with the options. And then obviously you got the Russell futures. So we have not made it to the high of the COVID boom, right? We had the COVID boom and we had the high there. If I go to the S&P 500, this is the COVID high. S&P 500 is so much higher. Nasdaq, same thing. This is the high up here, right? Around this, what's the number, John? 16,000, right? So that was the high of the COVID boom, but much higher. Dow Jones, this here, that there is the COVID high right there, and we're much, much higher. So to me, what I'm looking at is, one, I believe the Dow Jones to me is just starting a trend. I believe possibly a bit of a short-term pullback, but 50,000 down. S&P, Nasdaq, we've been having such a big move, but the outlier, right? The outlier's been what? The Russell. The Russell is what? This is just the highs up here. Where is all the other indices? All the other indices are up like here. So the Russell right now is playing catch up. And when you play catch up, you get what? You get this type of move. Bam, right? Really out of the gates. So it's Gold 2.0, because that's exactly what gold did, right? We go back to gold. Look at this here. It did nothing for a long time. And then bam, we get to go again. So that's the way that I like to trade myself, guys. Whenever when you apply for my coaching, get John's help, first link in the description. You can apply to become part of a daily group with me. And that's what I'm doing, right? My type of trading is I'm not looking to trade a lot. I'm looking to do things like get in on the Russell down here, and hold it for a few months, pick up 400-500% return, potentially up to 1,000% return on a trade. Hold it for a couple of months, make a really big profit on one trade, and just manage that trade. I don't want to be taking 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 trades, right? I want to try to identify those Gold 2.0 trades, right? I want to be identifying those trades that's likely to make really big moves and then run that, because that's how you make big profits in the markets, right? You don't make big profits in the markets by trying to take a few $100 here and a few pips here. No, that's not how it works, right? And that's when you apply for my coaching, that's exactly what I'm all about from there, okay? And if you do want to start to make good money in the markets, like you want to make a big profit in the markets, guess what? Big profits come from big trends. And big trends, you're not going to make a big profit from being in something for a few days. You're going to make a big profit for being in something where you can have leverage like an option, right? And then being in a really big move for the course of a month or 2 months, right? That's how. So if your mentality is get in, get out really, really quickly, well, you're scalping, right? That's scalping. You're making small profit. No, right? Whenever these opportunities come around, like I believe the Russell is, and it's too late now to get into the Russell because the Russell triggered a long time ago. Like I'm already up like, let's say 80% or something like that on my option so far. And the move is just getting started, by the way, with me. So I hope you can see what I'm saying here. Now, by the way, guys, all this, what I'm saying here right now, I do this live every day in the group of my coaching clients, right? So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, when it comes to the good old Russell from there. Let me show you now. Let me now go over. I want to go over the Tesla, all right? Because I think Tesla, right? We're going to talk about Tesla here. So Tesla, to me, guys, I believe is basing out, and we're getting ready for a really big move, okay? Or for another move to the upside. And the reason why I say that is if we have a look at this long-term trend line coming down through here. We have just broken out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times of major resistance over this here. After 6 major resistance, it's now finally getting started. Look at this here. Now we're breaking out. What does that mean? Everything is starting to change, right? Everything is starting to change when it comes to this particular chart here. So Tesla, guys, to me, looks like it's actually getting ready to have a really, really, really big move to the upside from there. So let's go look at the actual mining sector today. So the GDX is still at that level of resistance, having a little bit of a pullback from here. So short-term TA, guys, little rally up. Again, a little bit of a pullback. I would expect maybe just a little bit more to come down through here. And we start to get into the 50% range from there to there, as you can see. Right, so that's what we're looking at from there to there. And we can see it from there to there as well too, right? So as you can see from there to there. So we can see that this is what's happening right now. All this move to the down, more this move here, right? And now what we're looking at is they would probably likely to get a bit more of a pullback. But once we start to get back above this 39.40 level, guys, then we can see that there's pretty much a really good, strong, free and clear move. Let's bring up the weekly chart here. Yeah, once we get out of that level there, I'm just looking at where's that come into play there. Yeah, so that comes into play down there, doesn't it? Like that through there, that through there. I'm just trying to see the level. So possibly that through there. Yeah, so X marks the spot. I'm looking at this resistance line coming down through here. This resistance through here. So if I go to my daily charts now, and I zoom right in, you can see how this sort of X marks the spot, right? Look at all this 50% Fibonacci, this support level, and that's that long support level there. So we hold here and we start to break up, then I believe that could be then a move back up towards, we could be getting ready for a good 25%, another leg to the upside, but probably a bit of a short-term move on the downside coming out of that one through there. Looking at now through the gold chart as well too. And gold for me is just holding strong here. This is what we want to see. And we can see how we did actually, we were going sideways for a while here. So we were just going sideways for a while here. There's the resistance level through there. There's the major support around the 2,300, 2,400 resistance. But now what can actually start to happen is we can start to get this here and we start to get like a bit of a breakout and then a move to the downside. There's a couple of different patterns I like to see when it comes to the channels. And let me see if I can show you that through here. So here's some trades I've taken and some screenshots I've taken for this year. Oh, there it is there. Live coaching clients. If you're watching this, this is the screenshot I was going to bring up today. I just couldn't find it. There you go. I just found it for you guys. I'll bring it up tomorrow for you guys. Anyway, we can see here. Again, if you're interested in joining that group, first link in the description there, guys, you can go click on that and then go get access to, you can go apply for the coaching if you want to actually join that group with me every single day. So we can see what's going on here, right? Look at this here, sideways channel, and we either get a sideways up and then a breakout, or we get a sideways, we get a breakout, and then we get this sideways pattern. This is basically what I'm looking for. But what can happen sometimes here is we get the move up through here, right? We get the move up, but what can happen sometimes is if we do something like this here, we come down, this creates the higher low here, and then bam, away we go. Makes sense? So there's a few different types of patterns here. I wonder if I have, I'm just looking at, these are different channel trades that I've taken in the past. There's a channel trade there. There's a beautiful, beautiful channel trade there. I'm just trying to see an example. Do I have an example here of what I'm talking about there? I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to go through a lot of time here, but there's just so many different, these are different trades and stuff like that. Anyway, so we'll go, so that's what I'm looking for, guys. So basically what we can see this major level of resistance all through here, right? And that's that weekly resistance level there. I'm going to use that weekly level. That weekly, we've got this very strong 24 moving average still pointing up. So if we come through here, I do believe possibly even a bit higher than that through there. I do believe we're likely to hold and start to see a move back to the upside. If we're looking at some sort of support line, we'll possibly have this support line coming through here as a support line. So looking at that through there, we'll possibly get maybe a bit of a short-term, a little bit more of a short-term drop. That will also get you involved with the 50 to 60% level. And if we do hold here, and we come back down through to here and we start to do something like that and we start to break up, then that will be the start of the move. And then I see a 3,000 gold to come. And this right here will be the trigger for me to say, okay, now we're probably there. Now we've done going sideways. Now we're starting the next move up. And good old silver as well too. Silver right now has just been a lackluster dog, right? Really not doing much. There's probably going to be a short-term false breakdown. So you've got this major level of support around the $29 level through here. So we're possibly going to get a bit of a short-term flush down from here. But then I see like a bit of a slingshot pattern coming out of this. Because keep in mind, the big weekly trend is still up. So any short-term movement down is probably going to be very short-lived. So trying to go short silver right now, woo, very, 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 very dangerous, right? Very dangerous. And last but least, guys, the good old Bitcoin chart. And the one thing that I like, there's these patterns that I see happen time and time and time again. And one of those is a strong weekly trend, right? A strong weekly trend, which is, I use a 24 moving average. If the 24 moving average is coming up like that through there, it's very, very strong, right? And then we get the market doing this here. It goes up, right? Comes back down, finds a low, and then comes back down. We know what? We know this is the low, right? That's the low through there. But if the moving average is still trending up, what can happen is we get a flush down past this low, and that's a false breakdown, and then that becomes a slingshot pattern to then see this thing turn around and then start to make its way back to the upside. Make sense? So therefore, we can see here, look what happened here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now had what? A bit of a strong flush down. Now we're popping back up. We're actually at these highs through here right now. That's where we're having a lot of this time. And now we're getting a short-term pullback this week. So that's the big picture. Why is that important? Because once we start to really break above, say, this 70,000 level, once we start to really get back above the 70,000 level, guess what? We're likely to make a really, really, really big move out of there. So there is two main markets I'm focusing on right now. One, I'm already in right now, and I've been talking about this the entire year, and that's Russell. Russell. I'm still in the Russell right now. No, I didn't get out for a loss. My options are about 80% profit right now. So why would I don't know. Someone said to me, did I get out for a loss on the Russell? The answer is no. I lost, like, no. When I got into the Russell and to where it is now. Anyway, so that's the first thing I do say. Russell's a big move there. And then Bitcoin, I believe, is going to be setting up for another big move. These other markets, I'm just not too quite sure. I believe the Dow could see a 50,000 Dow coming real soon, but that's still on a short-term pullback. So the two gold nuggets as I'm seeing right now, guys, one has already happened, and I even let you guys know on the IWM, like I told you guys, on the IWM. I even did a video on this day here. You guys know that. If you don't, you can go check out my video a week ago where I've been watching the Russell this entire year. And then when this day happened, I said, guys, it's starting. Here we go, right? I even did a video about that. You guys know that. And look what's happened, right? So it's actually quite simple. When you're with my coaching clients, I'm doing this live. So you see me get into these trades live so I can actually coach you and help you and guide you through this. Not get in up here, because if some of you guys got in up here after I did the YouTube video, well, you got in too late, right? You got in way too late. And no wonder some people said, oh, John, did you get out for a loss on the Russell? It's like, no, my options are still up really, really, really nicely. And the move is just getting started. And this is where experience comes from, you guys, right? When you join my coaching program, first thing in the description, what you're doing is you're out of my last 20 years of experience, I can guide you through when to get out fast for a small loss or a small profit, or when to hold on to something for a big profit. This is what I was actually talking with my group today about this, right? I was talking to my group today about this, about that through the Russell, as the Russell was pulling back, I was guiding my coaching clients to tell them, listen, like me personally, no, I'm not getting out of the Russell because this is just a short-term pullback before we get going again. The Russell has just broken out. The Russell is just getting started. And to be able to coach my coaching clients so they didn't sell because they were freaking out, but now look what's happened with the Russell, and I believe we have so much more upside to come out of the Russell, that this is one thing that I do with my coaching clients. Through my experience, I can guide you to keep your emotions in control, let your profits run, cut your losses short, and all that sort of stuff as well.